I am super excited for the first time on the channel. I've got one giant rebuttal. What is going on, my man? Man, I'm just super excited, man. I discovered his channel. When did you channel? We talk about why you started. You get to know my audience a little bit. Tell us about your channel, and then we'll get into the football talk. I just want to say hello to everybody. Jose Reyes in the house. Gang Green in the house. Cesar Munoz. Anthony Ross. Rogue Dog. Crazy Mofo. Joe Lutz, the Sexy Goat. Chris Sonora, the Detonator. The link is in the description below if you have... Oh, I keep doing this every time. You are muted. So we will start that over again. Here is one giant rebuttal. I discovered your channel, what was it, about 2 months ago?
3 months ago.
So 3 months ago, there it is. But sorry about that, guys. There's the volume. And what's going on, my man?
Not too much. What's going on with you?
Nothing
How
much,
was your day?
It's going good, man. I just want to start this snap.
Watching a Big Blue Unbiased video, go figure.
Right.
And I was commenting on his videos, and I was like, I really don't like what he's saying. And then there was another dude. I'm trying to think of his name. I can't think of it. Fitz Vegas. You've seen me respond.
Yeah, I've seen him.
And I was like, you know what? I can't stand what he's saying either. I'm like, why don't I try this YouTube thing? And that's how I came up with the one giant rebuttal. I just said, you know what? Since you guys aren't going to respond to me in the comments, and I understand that not everybody can respond to you, but we're not talking about huge channels. Right. We're not talking about PewDiePie.
Right.
So I said, you know what? I'm just going to comment to you anyways, And it happened to work out that way.
Very cool stuff, man. I love your channel. I mean, you actually rebutted me once. I went on there. I laughed. Yeah. If you go on his channel, he rebutted me on one of the things I said. Kendra's in the house. QC's in the house. Thank you so much for tuning in, Kendra and QC. Joe Lutz, what's going on? Stuck in the 80s. Love Stuck in the 80s.
I do too. I love the dude.
Oh, great channel. Great channel over there. Steven Pazienza in the house. We got the Dolphins in the chat. Yeah. So what are we going to talk about here? So that's why you started the channel.
Yep.
And I'll tell you, Big Blue, I agree with everything this guy's saying. And then I click your name and I see you got a channel. And then I'm watching, I'm like, oh, this guy knows his stuff. So, but that kid just hated Eli Manning. Hated him.
No, I mean, you know what? And actually, that's how I kind of discovered you. I mean, you commented on my video and I'm like, who's this dude? And then I started talking to him. I'm like, wow, I agree a lot of what this dude has to say. Right. And it was the same thing. I just had that mutual respect, and then from you, I found Bad Dog and whatnot. But
very cool stuff. I just want to say thank you to PlayDead76 for the super chat. I really do appreciate that. Stand up. What do we got here? By the way, guys, any questions that you have? Anyway, big Giants fan. What is your strategy going into this offseason? Like in the draft, free agency. What do you want them to address?
What do I want them to address? You know me. I mean, I've said it in your comment section. I've said it to you. Basically, I want them to address the hog mollies. I want, your pass rusher, maybe a right guard, right tackle. That's where I want to start. I want to have the pieces in place so when we do get somebody, at quarterback, it's there. So we have the structure there because you build from the inside out. Any team you start, you build from the inside out. That's how you build a team in the NFL. And I will always rebut anybody on that point because nobody just starts with a quarterback and then, boom, your team's good. No, you build from the inside out. Most teams do. It's just those are not always highlighted moves. You know what I'm saying?
Right. I mean, that's how everybody forgets that. Everybody thinks it's always I always say that. I mean, Eli Manning, when he first came in, they built from the inside out. They had that all-world offensive line. The year after they won the Super Bowl, actually, in 2008, that was one of the best running offenses I've ever seen. I remember that game against the Ravens. They ran for 300 yards. It was something ridiculous like that. And they were able to run on anybody. And that's how the Giants have always won football games. And I love that Gettleman's getting back to that. And I don't think they're going to draft an offensive lineman in the first round because I don't think there's going to be one worthy of taken at the 6th overall pick. But I think
I agree with that.
You agree? Yeah.
I agree totally.
But I think that they're going to spend most of their money in free agency on a big offensive lineman. And I think the guy. Oh, QC, thank you so much for the super chat. I really do appreciate that. I think the guy who Gettleman drafted him from the Panthers, Darrell Williams.
Yep.
Yeah, he drafted him in 2015, 4th round pick, and everybody seems to think the Giants are going to grab him up. So we'll see.
I'm laughing. West Coast 5.
I missed. I'm sorry. Did I miss?
I
missed Cesar who super chatted me. I'm sorry I missed it. I was talking to one giant rebuttal. Just let me know. I'll give him a big thank you. Sorry, guys. I never like to miss that. Just let me know. I can't go back in the chat. Yeah, just let me know, guys. I apologize. Darryl Williams. Yeah, Joe Lutz. I would love him. But, yeah, I think that's got to be the objective this. Joe Musa. Oh, my God. Joe Musa. I am so sorry I missed that. Joe Musa is the man. I hope you saw, Joe Musa, that I got you a wrench. And you're going to get a whole tool bag soon. What's going on, Andy Garcia? Thank you for tuning into the stream. There he is again. Joe Musa, thank you so much. Where can I find the video of the spider on the wall? Did you see that one?
No, I have not seen that one, no.
Oh, you didn't see that live stream?
No, I have not seen that one.
Who was that against? It was a live stream against...
Actually, you know what? I just missed it. You were looking at it. I think I've vividly seen the video. Like, I had just missed it. I think I was, like, stepped away to do something for my kids, maybe feed my kids or something like that. And I'd come back and, like, the whole thing was finished. And then I saw the videos, you know, the memes that people have made as well.
You know what I'll do? At the end of this stream, if somebody could remind me of which video it was, I'll go back in there because I know it was timestamped, and I'll show it. That way everybody can see it. Hasn't seen it. Was it the Bears? It was the same stream. Yeah, you know what? I think it was the Bears. I think you're right. It was the game where I got obliterated. I think you're right. It was the game where I got obliterated. But so that's what I like about you. You think the same way with the Giants as I do. It's all about the hog mollies. It's about the offensive line. It's about the pass rush. Now, I know that you're not pro quarterback in this draft, but if you had to take a quarterback, from what I gather, you're leaning more towards a Murray. If you had to take a quarterback in this year's draft.
Well, I look at, you know, speed, I look at playmaking, and that's why I want Kyler, but I want Kyler over Dwayne Haskins. But if I had to take a quarterback and somebody had a gun to my head, believe it or not, I'd say Daniel Jones. Not at number 6, but I would take Daniel Jones.
And I'm going to assume the reason for that is because he learned under the same guy Eli did. It's a pro-style offense. He's 6'5". He's got everything you want in a quarterback in terms of size. He has a pro-style offense in college.
And I would actually say an underrated athlete. I mean, you saw the run into the end zone, you know, in the Senior Bowl game. I don't know if you watched it or not.
I saw the highlights. I didn't see it live. I was working, yeah. But
and then,
I like Daniel Jones, too. He's quickly approaching number 2 on my list. He might pass Kyler Murray. I like him.
I do like him, too. But I do want to say one thing. If anybody hasn't subbed to this dude, what are you waiting for? I absolutely love the Entertainah. And, you know, please, if you're in the chat, you're new, maybe you just came in, you know, thumbs up the video, obviously. But please, 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 hell, I'll thumbs it up right now. But
I appreciate that. Anybody who's not subscribed to him, I'm trying to help his channel out. He's just getting started. Sub him up. Check out his videos. They're very entertaining. You could even check out the one where he rebutted me. Jeffrey Abbey in the house. What's going on? He said, I am surprised many are on the quarterback Kyler Murray, even with the higher risks. So I guess he's referring that he's not just you specifically, but he's surprised that Giants fans in general are high on Kyler Murray.
I mean, it's just we've never seen a player like Kyler. The closest thing you have to Kyler is Russell Wilson. Right. I would argue. I mean, obviously Russell Wilson's probably maybe a better passer, but the fact that, you know, just imagining him in this offense with Saquon, with Odell, good arm, accurate, and, you know, the only thing people have to knock on is his size and the possible durability. And my argument is he's been playing against big dudes his entire life.
Right. Well, that's the argument everybody has. For me, there's too many question marks. It just is. I get it. I get why people like him. I'll tell you this. If he came, they would have the most exciting offense in football. Defenses would sweat every time they had to play him. There's no doubt about it. But with the state of the Giants' offensive line and a quarterback like that, I don't think it's... I understand that he would almost be a Band-Aid for a poor offensive line because he'd have the ability to escape the rush. I just think you're asking for a disaster there. But when he's healthy, sure, he'll be great. You know, I just not my type of quarterback. I'm more with you with Daniel Jones. That's my type of quarterback. I like that 6'3" to 6'5" pocket passer with some escapability, but I don't want a scrambler.
Oh, no. I mean, I could see why people would get cold feet on Kyler, and to be honest, I don't expect the Giants to take Kyler at all.
They're not. They're not going to.
No, they're not going to. But, you know, I would, you know, it's more of a curiosity, and there's just things about Dwayne Haskins' game that kind of turn me off. But if the Giants go with him, I'm not going to sit there and say, okay, no, you know, whatnot. But he's got to earn my respect. You know, he's got to prove it. And he's got, in my mind, you know, when he starts, he's got 2 years. You don't prove it in that 2 years, you're a waste like Jameis Winston. Because I believe Jameis Winston's washed up. Like, he's done. I don't believe he's going to.
I don't know. We'll see. Because you don't think Bruce Arians could fix him?
I'm not saying Bruce Arians can't fix him. I just think that, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers made a mistake drafting him.
Okay. You just don't think he was worthy of a number 1 pick? You don't think he has the talent? Or you think it's more of an off-the-field issue?
I think it's an off-the-field issue, and I think it's almost like a Russell Wilson, or not Russell Wilson. Who's the dude? Jamarcus Russell from the Raiders, where he's not putting in the time.
That's fair. I mean, that's fair to say, for sure. What's going on, MH? Thank you for tuning in the stream. Rohan's in the chat. Gangrene, the QC. Jeffrey Abbey says, I get it. Could be dynamic, but Giants would have to... Exactly. That's the other thing I don't like. Jeffrey Abbey, same thing you just said. With a guy like a Haskins or a guy like a Daniel Jones or Locke, they could pretty much play in any offense where you would have to mold the offense around the quarterback. In my opinion.
I agree and I disagree in the same statement because I believe, you start with what the Ravens did with Lamar Jackson. You start there, okay? You do what is his strength.
Or RG3 or, a number of quarterbacks.
You do their strength, but you slowly build in your offense. Yeah. So then you're looking to make this person a multi-purpose threat. Like, Mike Vick always had the legs, but when he was with the Eagles after getting hit so much, he started, dropping back in the pocket a little bit more and being a better pocket passer. Now, was he, a prolific pocket passer? No. But if you're going to be an athletic quarterback in the NFL, you have to be good from the pocket. You have to be able to know to step up and not always just scramble.
When you watch this kid, though, do you think he's his talent? I mean, Michael Vick, that guy, and I know Murray's very fast, and I know he had great stats. I don't think he's as talented as Michael Vick was.
No, I don't think he's as talented as Michael Vick. He's faster than Michael Vick, I would say, but he's not. He doesn't have the same juke moves and whatnot that Michael Vick.
Michael Vick's arm was absurd. I mean, his arm strength was absurd. I remember he used to throw it 80 yards. I mean, he could. He was capable of like 75, 80-yard throws. Big Blue Life says, is the Giants fan base as a whole ready to take a breath of fresh air and move on from Eli Manning?
I would say for the right you have to draft the right quarterback. I'm okay moving on from Eli. Now, everybody who's seen my videos, you'll know that I'm not going to sit there and defend Eli, but to sit there and tell me, okay, move on to quarterback for the sake of making a quarterback, sake for getting a quarterback. Do you guys remember Dave Brown? Do you remember Danny Cannell? You could be down that road. You take the wrong guy and Dwayne Haskins doesn't work out. You set your franchise back 5 years. That means Dave Gettleman's gone. That means Pat Shurmur's gone.
Let me give you a hypothetical because I'm thinking about it as you're talking, and I always say, what's going on, Gavin? Thank you for tuning in the stream. I always say the biggest reason why I'd consider going quarterback in this draft, and again, I don't want to force it, it's because we don't know what we're going to be picking next year. Let's say the Giants have a surprise year, they make the playoffs, they do well, we get the 25th overall pick. I'm going to give you 2 options. What are you laughing at?
Russell Johnson, I dated Michael Vick's cousin.
Okay. Do you trade the farm? To move up from 25 to like 5, you'd have to give. I don't even think you'd be able to do it. But would you basically trade away your whole draft to move up and get a quarterback in that instance, or would you go out and sign a free agent? Because those are going to be your 2 options. That's what worries me about not taking a quarterback in this draft with the 6th pick.
I have because honestly, everybody thinks the Giants have an easy schedule next year.
I'm not saying I expect them to do this, but I'm saying it could happen.
It could happen. You go 9-7, you go 10-6. That puts you probably 20-25 range. Yeah, I would put Mike Ditka, and I believe the guy next year, you either Tua, Fromm, whoever your favorite quarterback is next year.
Herbert.
I'm not going to pound the table for any of them until I get to see, but I'll tell you right now, if we take Dwayne Haskins, we're taking Sunshine from Clemson. In a couple of years.
You really think Haskins is going to be a bust? You really do.
I'm not. He has to prove it to me.
Yeah.
It's just I don't trust Ohio State quarterbacks. They haven't had it, and maybe it's just one good year in college. Had he done it for 2 or 3 years, by all means, take the kid number 6 overall.
Yeah.
or move up and go get him because that's what it would require had he played. But he's only played 1 year. He's only flashed 1 year, and he's only flashed in certain games. Like, he had a good overall year, but if you break down the Purdue tape, it's bad.
Yeah.
I mean, it's real bad. But, teams do have a tendency to play, bad, down to their competition sometimes, especially in the Big Ten.
Well, plus their defense in that game was so bad that Ohio State was completely one-dimensional. But, yeah, no, you're right. It was not his best game. But I like him, and I'm going to be on record saying I don't love him. I'm going to be happy if the Giants take him, but he's not my first choice at number 6. I personally think the Jaguars are going to trade up. I really do. I think the Jaguars are desperate. I think they look at their team right now and they say, if we have a quarterback, we could compete. But by the same token, I'm going to ask you this. The Jaguars have a lot of younger talent, right, on their team that's probably going to be hitting free agency soon. So they might say, we only got a 1 year or 2 year window. So if I'm Coughlin, I might even say to myself, it might be smarter to get Foles rather than get a quarterback that I have to develop for a year or two, and then I'm losing all these good defensive players. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, no, I hear what you're saying, but I just disagree on the quarterback. I mean, that's not what you were asking. You just want to know my thoughts on that. But if they're going to take a free agent quarterback, I believe they have to take a chance on Teddy Bridge and move from that.
Yeah, whatever. They take their free agent quarterback of choice, but that may be the smarter approach for where they are right now because they're kind of in a win-now mode. Even though they had a bad year, they're kind of in a win-now mode, the Jaguars. Oh,
yeah, definitely. They're definitely in a win-now mode. I'm just kind of worried about Leonard Fournette. I mean, I had him on my fantasy team this year, and he disappointed. But, can the dude stay healthy? That's my question about him. Like, they have a strong running game. They have the hog mollies. They have the offensive line. Obviously they signed Norwell from last year.
Right.
But my thing is, obviously they're just missing a quarterback. And I hope they can put it together because I do want to see more up-and-coming teams in the AFC. I'm tired of seeing the Patriots in the Super Bowl.
Oh, God. I can't stand it. But once again, Meet the Mets is in the house. What's going on, my man? That's such a stat boy media driven. I don't trust. Oh, he's talking about you. He's saying that's a stat boy narrative that you don't trust Ohio State quarterbacks. But I love Meet the Mets.
Well, I'm also rooting for Penn State. So
yeah, sub them up. But yeah, once again, guys, link is in the description below. Please check out One Giant Rebuttal. Meet the Mets, by the way. I'm trying to get it. I like you. You always tune into my channel. I like you. You know I want to work with you during Mets season. I want to do this once a week. If you want to come on the channel in a couple weeks, by all means. Trying to look at the chat here. Haskins has a sidearm helping in and out of the pocket throws and a deep throw. So good it makes me scream. Rivers, Christian Orr says. All right. Any question, guys? Shout him out. Gavin says, what about, Jared Stidham he's talking about there. The Giants were rumored to be interested in him. I read that at the Senior Bowl. But I don't view him as more than a backup. I mean, every projection you see, they have him going 4th or 5th round. The Giants' interest in him, to me, is they might be thinking about moving on from Loletta because of all his off the field nonsense. So they might be thinking about bringing Stidham as a backup. I don't view him as a starter.
I don't view him as a starter either, but I can't see the Giants just the wrath they would feel. Like, imagine if the Giants just go like defensive lineman, doesn't matter, in the first round. Second round they draft, offensive lineman. Third round, well, actually no, we have no third round pick. Never mind. We go, 4th round they take a quarterback, and then you'd have the same thing.
The thing is, though, and I agree with you, I wouldn't take a quarterback, but they do have 8 picks from rounds 4 to 7. So they might say it might be worth it if they like the kid. It is, maybe it's worth one of those picks. But if I'm the Giants, I'm looking to trade multiple picks there in the round 4 to 7 range and move up and get a 3rd or a 2nd. That's what I would do.
I actually want to do a quick shout out myself, and you probably know him as well. Afghanistan Baby, oh yeah.
Oh, Afghanistan's the best. He always.
Oh, he is.
My channel.
He was literally, besides friends and family, he was my first sub.
Afghanistan's awesome. I love Afghanistan. One of my best subs. He's awesome. That's a basketball question. We'll do broad sports questions in maybe 20 minutes. I want to get into the Super Bowl in a little bit. But any Giants or football-related questions, shout them out.
Yeah,
Question, which level of the defense you all consider we going after in the draft? D-line, linebacker, or safety? I personally think either D-line or OLB, depending on who they have best on their board. They possibly could take White, though, the inside linebacker. If they take White, you cut Ogletree.
I think you have to. Yeah. I think you do. If you believe Devin White is a day one starter, Just because somebody, flashes in college, and obviously it's more than just a flash, I believe he's a day one starter regardless. But let's just say, for hypothetical, the Giants, are lukewarm on him, take him at number 6, whatever, and he starts, you don't necessarily have to cut all your tree, but, if you don't believe he's going to start day one, like maybe, a couple games and then bring him in.
Right.
We're not talking about Lawrence Taylor, who moved up from third string, second string, and first string, all in the same practice.
Right. Right. But so if you had your choice, and let's just say nobody unexpectedly drops, like Quinnen Williams is off the board, Josh Allen's off the board, Bosa's off the board, who do you want?
I'd have to go Devin White. Like Devin White or one of who's the dude from Clemson there?
Oh, Farrell.
Possibly Farrell, but I mean that might be a little high for Farrell.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people like Sweat too.
Yeah. I like, the more I see of Farrell, the more I like him. I like White, and as well as I do as a Giants fan, we have not had a good linebacker, and we thought it was going to be answered with Ogletree, but Ogletree was not good this year.
Definitely.
I know he fell into some interceptions. I always said he was not good. We have not had a good linebacker since Pierce, consistently, in the middle.
I want to actually answer Stuck in the 80s question. He says, this is for me. He thought, what are my thoughts on Eli Manning being a Hall of Fame QB? I'll actually break this down as simple as possible. It'll take not more than 30 seconds. If you're going to put Joe Namath in the Hall of Fame, you got to put Eli. Simple as that.
Yeah, that's as easy as it gets. I mean, you could argue that Cowboy fans might not want to hear this. You could argue with the supporting cast Aikman had, Eli's better than Aikman. I know Aikman's got one more Super Bowl. Aikman only had 1 year where he threw more than 20 touchdowns. I think he made 1 or 2 Pro Bowls. I'd put Aikman above him because he's got one more Super Bowl. But Eli, in my opinion, is just as deserving as Aikman. Aikman was not a great quarterback.
And also the fact that no multi-winning Super Bowl quarterback has not been inducted into the Hall of Fame.
Right.
Every quarterback that's won 2 or more Super Bowls is inducted into the Hall of Fame. So what? You're just going to leave Eli out because his brother's going in or something,
Yeah.
It'd be, the only way I could see him getting snubbed is if some sports writers have some sort of vendetta against him. You know what I'm saying?
Well, I don't think he's going to get first ballot because, unfortunately, I think there's a lot of Eli haters out there.
Yeah.
A lot of them are in our fan base. And,
you might be looking at a Dan Fouts situation where he waits 10, 15 years to get in, maybe even more.
I hope not. I think it'll be sooner than that. I think it'll be like 5 years, but I think he will get in. But it's not going to happen right away, unfortunately. Yeah, exactly, Jake Reynolds. I mean, he almost had as many picks as touchdowns. But people see the rings, and of course he had big moments in the playoffs. I remember as a kid watching the game against the 49ers in the NFC title game. I think it was like a 3rd and 2, and he throws that bomb to Irvin or whatever. I remember watching that game in like 1990. But he had some big moments, Aikman, for sure.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
What's going on, Waterboy Report? Sub that man up. The QC run DMs. Jolette says Chris feels the hog molly, feeds the... Joe Lutz, man.
Joe Lutz is a good dude. I like talking to him in the chat.
Jake Reynolds says, I make fun of Eli a lot, but if Aikman is there, Eli is in there. I agree.
Yeah,
the only difference is the ring. And Troy Aikman had so much more than Eli. I always say this. When people argue Rivers or Eli, and I get that Rivers has had more longevity, he's got better numbers. Rivers had more talent than Eli ever had on some of those.
Oh, absolutely.
And he didn't win. He never even made a Super Bowl. So
exactly.
You could argue that Eli won with less than most quarterbacks. I mean, that especially in 2011, that Giants team was not a good team. They got hot. They got hot in the playoffs. The defense was not good in the regular season. They had the worst running offense in football for the year. He carried them on his back that year. Not many quarterbacks could do that.
I mean, not to really draw back to one of my videos, but when I rebutted Mike Too Nice, he was directly comparing this season to the 2011 season.
Right.
In that video, and I was just like, listen, that was a statistical anomaly. Like you said, they just got hot.
Right.
And that was pretty much it.
Yeah, they got hot. Cruz, of course, had a lot to do with that. Now, I don't know if you were listening the other day when, I don't know if you were, Stuck in the 80s called in yesterday. And he brought up a hypothetical, and I thought he was going to ask this hypothetical. I'm going to ask this hypothetical to you.
Okay.
The question he asked me first was, if Burris never shot himself, did the Giants win the Super Bowl in 2008?
Oh, no doubt in my mind they win the Super Bowl that year.
Okay, and then this was my question. If Burris never shot himself, did the Giants win the Super Bowl in 2011? And I'm gonna explain why I don't think they do. They never draft Hakeem Nicks, and Victor Cruz more than likely never gets a chance.
That I will agree with. I think we're talking about what the cool thing is in 2008. That would have been one of the first teams to do back-to-back Super Bowls since the Patriots.
Right. Well, that would have been awesome. But you can argue that the 2011 Super Bowl never happens if he never shoots himself.
Honestly, the 2011 Super Bowl is a total statistical anomaly.
It was unbelievable. Yeah, it was unbelievable. And Eli that year was so money.
I'm actually going to ask you a quick question. Because obviously you've watched probably the 86 Super Bowl, you watched the 1990 Super Bowl, and then obviously you've seen 07 and 011. Which Giants team is your favorite Giants team out of the Super Bowl teams?
The best Giants team, like, I'm not going to say the 86 and 90 because I didn't get to watch those teams on a week-out basis. But since I've been watching the Giants, the best team I've seen is the 2008 team, the team where he shot himself. That was the best team. But I mean, my favorite year, believe it or not, is not 07, it's 11. Because that year, Eli Manning was... The stats might not say it, but what that guy did that year, it's one of the... And I'm biased as a Giants fan because I saw him every week. But what he did that year, you can't do much more as a quarterback. He literally put the team on his back every single week. And like I said, the stats might not back it up, but come from behind victory after come from behind victory. All 9 of those games that they won, he was the main reason they won. I mean, he literally put the team on his back that entire year. It was insane.
And that's why people, when they argue for an elite quarterback, I laugh. Because just because you have an elite quarterback doesn't mean you're going to go to the playoffs. Right. Or even make a run in the playoffs. We've seen what Aaron Rodgers does. So everybody's like, oh, you got to have this elite quarterback. No. You start with the hog mollies and give me an Alex Smith who doesn't turn the ball over, and give me a good offensive line, good defensive line, and I can go far in the playoffs.
Look at Jared Goff. I mean, Jared Goff's above average, but he's not this supremely talented quarterback.
Definitely not.
And he's in the Super Bowl.
I mean, that being said, should we segue into the Super Bowl if you want? I mean,
let's segue into the Super Bowl. Great matchup. You got the Rams, who now it's been 2 years they've been really good. You got the Patriots. Patriots are there every year. It's Brady's 9th Super Bowl. Did you think the Patriots were going to make it this year when the playoffs started?
No, I liked too many other teams. I was on the Colts just like you were.
Yeah, because they were hot. So what do you think of this game? I think it's a great matchup. I've been saying that now for a couple of days. I think it's going to be a great Super Bowl, but I'm curious to get your take of who you think is going to win and how you think each team, like the keys for each team to win the game.
So basically what I did before I came on the stream was, I don't like to always use Pro Football Focus, but it's a site where I can go to and just look at like the offensive and defensive line matchups. And they're actually really, really interesting. Taking their grades out of it because obviously they, sway their grades here and there. Just looking at the wide receivers, you have Edelman versus, who's the dude that got called for the pass interference call against the Saints? I can't think of his name. But for the Rams, number 23, I can't think of his name.
I can't remember off the top of my head.
But that's a good matchup. It's like a matchup that somebody wouldn't think about.
Right.
He actually is a pretty good slot corner against Edelman. Because the way you have to beat the Patriots is, I hate when teams play off against the Patriots.
No, you can't. Yeah, and he'll hit you underneath all day.
Exactly, and that's what he did against the Chargers.
Right.
And I can't stand it. And he did it against the Kansas City Chiefs. If you're going to play Brady, you have to jam these guys at the line to throw off timing on the routes, and you have to get pressure up the middle. For the Rams to beat the Patriots in this game, I believe you're going to have to run the football, and you're going to have to get pressure up the middle with Sue and Donald consistently, like the Giants did in their Super Bowl victory.
Right. I agree with you. That's how they're going to win, if they're going to win.
If they're going to win. And, the thing is, when I watch the Rams, when I watch the Patriots, the Rams are going to have to play their A-plus game to beat the Patriots. I believe that Patriots can get away with playing a B-plus game, even in the Super Bowl, and still beat that Rams team if they're not up to snuff. You know what I'm saying?
So you think, and I get the experience thing, I get that Belichick's a better coach, I get that Brady's the better quarterback. You think the Patriots have a more talented roster?
I don't believe the Patriots have a more talented roster, but I believe these guys are more disciplined, and I believe these guys know how to do their job more consistently, and that's why the Patriots are there every year.
You're right.
That's what makes Belichick a great coach because he'll take some backup linebacker from the Jets and turn this dude into a starter, and mind will be blown because he's only asking the dude to do, one or two things on the field, or he sees what that dude's good at, and he's like, I can add that piece to my team. Right. That's why it's being the next man up on those teams is astonishing to me. Like, they lost Josh Gordon. They don't miss a beat. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I mean, it's every year they get new players to plug in for the roles. The only constant is Brady and Belichick. Now, quick Patriot question for you. Who's more important to that team? Because everybody always asks that. Belichick or Brady?
You know what? Can I cheat on this question?
Yeah, go ahead.
All right. Both.
So you think if Brady leaves, Belichick won't be able to do it, and if Belichick leaves, Brady won't be able to do it?
Exactly.
You think they need each other?
I think they need each other. It's a perfect mixture. Same with Joe Montana and
Walsh.
Walsh.
Yeah. I'm not going to necessarily say the Patriots would win it. If I had to tell you who I think is more important, I think it's Belichick. But obviously Brady's great.
No, if I had to pick one, I would say I think it's actually Brady.
Really?
I would actually say it's Brady, even though, I bow down to Belichick. Because obviously, if it wasn't for Belichick, I'm sorry. We're not two-time Super Bowl champs. Maybe in 86, but certainly not in 1990. Yeah. Everybody gives that dude the credit for that defense, the way they played against that Bills team, because that Bills team was stacked.
I'm going to say, and I see Andy Garcia said Brady all the way. I'm not going to say why I think it's Belichick. To me, all you got to do is look back at, and I'm not, again, I know he needs Brady to win, but you look back at the year he got hurt, they went 11-5 with Matt Castle. So, I mean, I still think, and what did Brissett go 3-1 when Brady was out with the suspension? So to me, I still think that they'd be a pretty good team without Brady. I don't know. I don't think they're winning Super Bowls, but without Belichick, I don't know if they're a pretty good team. I think Brady fell into the perfect situation. I really do.
I do too. But I think when it's all said and done and they both decide to walk away, if they don't walk away together, I think it's career suicide for both of them.
I think they will. And somebody posed a hypothetical. I think it was on Twitter, and I don't know how many Jet fans are in here still. William Watson says it's one season, but I mean it's a culmination of 20 games. They are 14-6 without Tom Brady. That's almost a season and a half. That's a lot of games in football. 14-6 without Brady. Look at the Colts without Peyton Manning. They were like 1-15.
Exactly.
The year that he went out. So you can definitely argue that Peyton Manning meant more to his team. Now, I'm not saying Peyton Manning's better. I know he doesn't have the Super Bowl appearances, the rings. You can definitely argue that Peyton Manning meant more to his team than Tom Brady did.
I agree with that.
Because when Tom Brady goes out, they have a 14-6 record over his career. And they went 1-15, which is why they got Andrew Luck.
Oh, absolutely. I agree with that 100%.
Yeah.
Also going back to the Super Bowl, I don't know why it's not really. If you actually look, both the Rams and the Patriots are top five at running the ball this year. You have Edelman and Gronk for the Patriots, and obviously, passing the ball is the flashy thing to do in the league. But I'm telling you right now, you got Sony Michel and you got Todd Gurley. I can't wait.
Well, that was my rebuttal, and pun intended. When people were saying that last year, and obviously I wasn't on YouTube, but my friends, I always got in arguments because everybody wants to say it's this high-flying game, and I know, obviously teams pass more, which is why the yardage is up. There's more sacks in today's game because there's more opportunities to get them because they don't run as much. But everybody in the chat, do me a favor, and I always say it, you've probably heard it before. Go back and look at the top 10 running offenses last year. I don't know about this year, I haven't looked, but last year the top 10, all 10 were 500 or better, and 9 out of the 10 made the playoffs. And the Eagles were third in the league. They won the Super Bowl. So anybody who says running isn't what wins, running still sets up the pass. It always has, it always will.
Play action's a deadly thing.
Yeah.
I mean, no, it's the same trend this year. If you look at the top rushing teams, a majority of them made the playoffs.
Yeah, I mean, that's how you win. That's always how you win. And, of course, it's circumstantial because teams that are usually playing from ahead are running more. So it's a little skewed, but everybody knows to win in football, you have to be able to run. It's just common sense. I mean the Patriots were the one team to break that trend that year with, when they never threw the undefeated year. I mean, they never ran, it seemed, but they used Welker almost as a running back. You know what I'm saying? It was like a different type of running back in a way. Welker was running like 1-yard routes.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, as far as the Super Bowl goes, I can't wait for the game. I think the Patriots are going to win, but I'm rooting for the Rams.
I think I'm the same as you, but I think the Rams match up well. I think they match up incredibly well. I just don't think they're going to be able to. I think the Patriots will out-scheme them. Because anytime you give... And the inexperience is a huge key in this game. Extremely experienced coaching quarterback versus extremely inexperienced coaching quarterback.
I mean, I'm actually not going to say that's big of a thing because there is a lot of good minds on McVay's staff.
Well,
when McVay took over, you have Wade Phillips and whatnot. And then I can't think of his... Maybe his offensive coordinator was taken away, but... there are some good minds and some veteran minds, that can reel him in. So if he goes crazy, I believe he'll put up a decent scheme. I don't think this game's a blowout by any means. I mean, I could see a scenario where the Patriots do what they do to a lot of teams, get up 14-0 and then make you play from behind. And once that happens, it's over. But I believe the Rams have the tools to keep it close, and I think it will be close. But that being said, we haven't seen a blowout in the Super Bowl in a little while.
I was going to say, and every time the Patriots are in, it's 3 points. They always either win or lose by 3, it seems, or 4. But couldn't you say the same thing about experience versus inexperience for Super Bowl 52? Oh, yeah, no, Cesar Munoz. That's what I'm saying. I'm just saying I think it's a factor. I'm not saying that they're definitely going to win because of that, but I think you need to factor it in. Basically, a third-year quarterback playing his second year as a full-time starter, and a very young head coach. I mean, he's my age, McVay. I think he's like 35, right? 36?
Yeah, something around that, yeah.
33, so he's barely, the refs have received the money from the Patriots. The refs have received the money from the Patriots. Kraft buys rings. We're getting a lot of those Kraft buys rings comments. But I will say, a lot of questionable calls in those championship games.
Definitely.
On both of them. And,
there's actually, I was just farting around on YouTube yesterday. There's actually quite a bit of people that actually sit there and actually go on live TV, look at angles. They'll see the ref slapping Brady on the butt, and they're like, "Look it."
I once in a while I'll look back at the old games that have on ESPN Classic, and I'm watching the game sometimes, and I think how it would have altered the course of history had they had challenges back in the 80s and the early 90s. Do you ever think about that? Like those games back then, we might have had different Super Bowl champions back in those days.
Yeah, no, I think that too. I mean, the biggest game that comes to my mind, and obviously it involves the Patriots, but just the Raiders and Patriots, the tuck rule.
Yeah,
I can't. That's the one that bothers me the most. Not Deflategate, not even so much the so-called cheating in the Super Bowl. The tuck rule. It seems like they made up a friggin' rule on the field.
Well, that's what started the whole run for Brady. Yeah. I mean, that got him his confidence, and that got them rolling. I just want to see if there's any questions.
Yeah.
Entertainah Stat Check, 2011 running game. Yeah, I told you that sucked in the 80s. Yeah. Their running game was awful in the regular season. It got going in the playoffs. But they were the worst running offensive football. What?
But I would say they were better at situational running in the playoffs, where they weren't so much. They weren't very good during the season, on third and short, but they were able to convert, in the playoffs. So when they had to run it, they were doing a better job.
Yeah, that year was the year that Eli became a Hall of Famer. He carried the team. Chuck Sharks wants to know if the Giants going to trade up. I'm not going to rule it out. I mean, whenever there's a chance. I mean, the Giants are one of, what would you say, 4 teams that really need a quarterback in this year's draft. The Redskins, the Jaguars, the Giants. You could argue the Bengals, but technically they have probably the Dolphins, right? So there's 4, maybe 5 teams that really need a quarterback.
There's
you could argue the Saints, you could argue the Patriots, but they're picking very late.
And then there's surprise teams toward the top of the draft. Would it blow anybody's mind if the Raiders took somebody high?
No, it wouldn't blow my mind at all, especially with Gruden. You know how he loves every quarterback he ever sees.
Exactly.
But
and then the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Are they locked into Jameis Winston? They did go with Ryan Fitzpatrick for a while. That's another question. I'm not saying they will, but there's a couple outliers that you can see, or see obviously people moving up. But going back to his question, will the Giants move up? Unless they love Josh Allen and unless they love Quinnen Williams, why are they moving up? because it shouldn't be to go get a quarterback. Because if they move up to 1 or 2 and go get Dwayne Haskins, that's the scenario where I'll be pissed. If Haskins, drops to our lap at 6, I'm fine with it.
Yeah, the only reason, and I agree with you, I don't want them trading up for Haskins. And if they do, maybe the 4th or 5th pick, not all the way up to 1. But it doesn't. Yeah, I agree with you. It's not worth it. But to me, they're not trading up for a defensive player either. If they're either going to stay put or you're trading up for a quarterback. It's very rare that you see a team trade up that early in the draft for a defensive player. It's almost it almost never happens. When a team makes a big jump early in the draft, it's 99% of the time for a quarterback. I mean, I can give you instances. You said you alluded to Ricky Williams, with Ditka, right, with the Saints, but it's rare that a team gives up a lot to move up early in the first round if it's not for a quarterback.
I hope this is not coming through, but I apologize. The plows are going up and down my road right now.
Oh, are you kidding me? Anytime you tune in my streams, you hear the traffic. Don't worry about it. But I don't even hear the plows, to be honest with you. And Big Blue says he is a big Drew Lock guy, and I love Big Blue for life. He is a huge Drew Lock guy. Do you know much?
Oh, no, I've definitely seen that in the chat. Definitely.
Yeah. Drew, what do you think of Drew Lock from what you've seen?
What do I think of Drew Lock?
Yeah.
I like, the arm talent's there. The decision making's a little questionable. Accuracy's a little questionable. But my biggest knock on Drew Lock is, can you win in the big game? Because that's what you need your quarterback to do. Can Drew Lock, down 3, if he's on the Giants hypothetically, down in Jerry's world by 3, you got to go down and either kick that game-tying field goal or get the touchdown, Can Drew Lock do it? And the biggest knock at Missouri is he can't do it.
That's a problem. And that was Eli's biggest strength. That's what separated him from the rest. Stealth. I actually almost made a video on that, but then I was like, it's not major news, but I think we all expected that. The Giants released Connor Barwin today. They saved $1.5 million on next year's cap, and we all know they're going to release Jonathan Stewart. If they don't, I'm going to be going bananas. So that'll save them another $2.5. And that'll be interesting to see. I don't think we're going to know the other cut. Well, the thing is, they're going to want to make those cuts before free agency, though. Right?
Yeah, definitely. And then also don't forget the other big one is in March. Eli Manning's roster bonus.
Right. But based on the cuts they make, I think it's going to be very telling to who they want to take in the draft. Because if they cut Vernon, more than likely they're taking a pass rusher. If they cut Ogletree, more than likely they're going for White. If they, you know what I'm saying? So Jenkins, maybe they go for Greedy Williams. So it's going to be very telling with who they cut before free agency. I think who they're going to take in the first round of this year's draft. Thank you so much, Meet the Mets, for the super chat. I really appreciate that. He says Phillips was able to slow Brady down in the 2016 AFC Championship game in Denver. Brady completed 48% of his passes, 2 interceptions, sacked 4 times. Wade Phillips, there you go. That could be a key in this game. Wade Phillips is and by the way, thank you so much. Meet the Mets. I'm going to get you on the channel very soon. I really want to work with you. You'll be on the channel either next week or the week after. We'll figure it out. But thank you so much. And Wade Phillips is one of the best defensive minds in football.
Yeah, definitely. And I'm curious to see. I mean, I would love nothing more to see Brady throw 2 interceptions in the Super Bowl and get sacked 4 times.
Right. That would be great. And of course, you live by all the Patriot fans, right?
Oh yeah. That's why I made the Patriots video, because where I live, I'm like 10 minutes away from Hartford, so capital of Connecticut. Anybody doesn't know, most people don't. And they're all up here. They're crawling everywhere.
But unfortunately, Meet the Mets. I know it's a football stream, but you're a Red Sox fan. I don't like that. I don't like that. But I get it. It's where you're from. But I don't hate. You know what? I don't hate the Red Sox. I don't even hate the Yankees. When I was a kid, I hated the Yankees. I just don't like the Yankees now. I don't follow them. I don't watch them. It's more like I just ignore them. But how do you think your Red Sox are going to do this year?
Honestly, I'd be shocked if they go. I think they'll make it back to the playoffs, but I think they're going to fall short this year. They haven't made any acquisitions, and because of how much money they're going to owe players in the future, they really can't afford to go make any big splash moves. And there's things they need to address. Obviously, they're not going to re-sign Craig Kimbrell, so the closer is going to be a problem. The bullpen might be a problem. Right. I expect us to hit, I actually liked Drew Pomeranz. We let go of Drew Pomeranz. I think.
Yeah,
right?
Pomeranz was a guy that I was looking at for the Mets as a potential fit starter because I know he's had success in the past. He might be worth a flyer.
Yeah, and he's not a bad fifth starter. And I liked him on the Red Sox. He wasn't a bad pitcher. I mean, he was up and down, but that's what you expect out of your fifth starter. Keep you in games, and that's what he did.
Right. All right, there you go. And let's see. I just want us to get to the chat here a little bit. Pomeranz signed with the Giants. There you go. What's going on, One Giant Rebuttal talking porn? So you got your own trolls. See that? You come on my channel, you get a troll. I grew 5 minutes away from Yankee Stadium and hated them, Cruzen says. So, Cruzen, you were a Met fan or a Red Sox fan? QC Enzo, someone was rhyming. By the way, one more time, I'm going to say it. Link in the description below. Please sub up my man, One Giant Rebuttal. We're going to take the next 10-15 minutes addressing the chat. And then, I don't know if he's still here, but I know he asked at the beginning. I think he's still here. I'm going to show that video about the spider. Somebody was asking about the...
Oh, look at that. Stuck in the 80s. You might get to meet up. I'm 5 minutes away from Hartford.
Oh, there you go. There we go.
Hey, stuck in the 80s. I don't mind it. People... It is what it is. I live in Plainville, Connecticut. It's a small town, so not anybody's going to know where that is. But he will if he's 5 minutes away from Hartford.
That's awesome. There we go. Cruzen's a Mets fan. Well, that's awesome, man. I'm going to be streaming a lot of Met games, doing a lot of Met content, so I hope you stick around. I'm looking forward to this shit. I think they're going to be good.
You know what? I've got to follow the Mets. I'm not going to sit there and argue. I mean, I have to follow the Mets now. You're a Mets fan. I want to be more educated on the Mets, so I'm going to make it a point to actually even draft a couple Mets in my fantasy draft.
I always go into the year, and Met fans, Meet the Mets probably knows this, Cruzen probably knows this. I always go into every season very positive. I went into last season very positive, and everything goes wrong. But I'm going in positive. If people stay healthy, I think they have the makeup to be a very good team. I'm not saying they're going to win 100 games, but I think they could have a good year.
Mets are the number one team in all of sports.
His number one team. I mean, that makes sense. That makes sense. Mets going to have a good season as long as we stay. Exactly. That's what I say every year. Chris is... Let's see what we got here. Sir Cardinal. Is Sir Cardinal in here? Is that why he said that? If he is, please sub him up. Lamel, what's going on, my man? Thank you for tuning in. We will be a fringe playoff team. Yeah, I think we got a shot at a wild card at least. I was a big baseball fan as a kid. I can't watch baseball without getting drunk.
What should Cleveland do in the first round? That's an interesting question.
I'm guessing Charts asked that. I know he's a Browns fan.
Yeah.
What should Cleveland do in the first round?
I would say more weapons.
I think they could use a wide receiver for sure. I don't view Landry as a number one.
No, I don't. But he's definitely a number two or a good slot.
Yeah.
A great slot, I should say.
Bonifex said the Giants are going 12-4. I was like, still talking about this year. What's Connecticut known for? Not trolling, just curious. Probably the
nutmeg.
basketball.
We're referred to as the nutmeg state, so we're known for nutmeg.
Well, and the Huskies, I mean, back in the day were the best men's and women's basketball team.
Oh, yeah.
Who are your three favorite Giants players of all time? And favorite three... he's asking you. Your favorite three Giants and favorite non-three
My favorite Giants of all time, I would probably have to go with Michael Strahan. I mean, these are going to be pretty generic. Lawrence Taylor and Saquon Barkley. He's replaced one of my other top threes. And my non-favorite Giants, pretty much every Dallas Cowboy in the early.
He's saying your favorite non-Giants.
Oh, favorite non. Oh,
yeah,
favorite
non. Your favorite non-Giants.
I thought you meant like.
No, not your most hated. Your favorite non-Giants.
Favorite non-Giants. Right now, I would say Russell Wilson.
They don't have to be playing today either. They could be old players.
Oh no, they can be Brett Favre and probably John Elway. I'm a quarterback guy.
I'm gonna go.
Oh, and Barry Sanders. Sorry, I gotta put Barry Sanders.
Barry, yeah. Giants. I don't go back as far as you, so I can't say LT. I didn't get to see him when he was at his best. I'm gonna go Strahan. I'm gonna go Eli, and I'm gonna go Barkley. And then non-Giants, I'm gonna go Larry Fitzgerald. I love Larry Fitzgerald. I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go Steve Young. I loved him as a kid, and I'm gonna go Barry Sanders as well. Those are my Larry Fitzgerald, Barry Sanders, and Steve Young.
Enzo goes, Connecticut's known from so. Not in recent years.
Kendra says she likes my shirt. Thank you so much, Kendra. Deion Sanders, Barry Sanders, and Marino Cruising says.
Didn't Kendra call in, or who called in last night? There was a girl.
There were two, Kendra and Whitney. Kendra's called in a few times.
Yeah.
She called in for me to say goodnight to her. Everybody in the chat was making fun of me. They said I was blushing. Cooper, what's up? You guys think Juju is just as good as AB? No, I don't. Do you? Juju as good as AB?
Juju as good as AB?
Yeah.
No, definitely not. But he's definitely talented. I love Juju.
He's great. Yeah, he's great.
If you actually look at his numbers, they're actually comparable. This year's numbers are pretty comparable to Antonio Brown.
But
I'm not saying they're like...
You can't put him on that level yet.
But
yeah, he could be.
Oh, Stuck in the 80s goes... we're also known for taxes, obviously, in Connecticut.
Chris... Sexy goat, yeah. Is Jalen Ramsey a good cornerback for the Chargers? Kristen Orr says, as a free agent. I mean, he's the best cornerback in football. But
when is he a free agent, though?
I think he's a free agent the following year. I don't think he's a free agent this year, but there were rumors that the Jaguars might be wanting to get rid of him because of his attitude, but I don't think they're going to do that.
Definitely not.
Yeah, what's going on, Babbitt? Thank you for tuning into the stream. Dentinator wants to know what... Dentinator, I've told you guys, I'm planning on putting together a meetup for the Giants-Jets game next year. So, could do it then. You know, if not before then. Maybe if the channel continues to grow, I'll set something up for baseball season. I don't know. But definitely Giants and Jets next year. I'm going to have a tailgate. Bad Dog's going to be there. You're more than welcome to come. I know you're from Connecticut.
I'll make time for that. Don't you worry.
Yeah, so yeah.
As long as the game's not in mid-December.
Yeah. My man Mustard Bust in the chat. Mustard Bust, I saw your message on Twitter. We're going to have to set it up. We're going to have to figure out a day. Definitely sometime this week I will be on your channel. So sub up Mustard Bust. Kendra just wants a sample of the... Come on, Joe Lutz. Alex. Yeah, Alex. Yeah, sub out Alex too. Yeah, absolutely. Meet the Mets. Do you think Ray Lewis killed that guy? Stealth says.
Oh, I don't know.
I don't think he killed him. I think he was there when it happened, but I don't think he killed him.
Yeah, definitely.
I don't wish he killed anybody, but I wish he didn't play that Super Bowl, that's for sure. Great job tonight. One Giant Rebuttal. Stuck in the 80s says, going to say hi to Bad Dog for a little bit before I crash. Good night. Stuck in the 80s. You have a great night, my man.
Again, great channel, Stuck in the 80s. Please, guys, like and subscribe.
Oh, he's the best. He is the absolute best. And somebody requested for me to show the spider. So I will go back in there in about 5 minutes to do that. That was Joe Musa. I don't know if he's still here. I hope he's still here.
Hey, look at Bav's comment.
Where is it? One Giant is Rover's dad. By the way, guys, you know what? I'm going to have a bunch of people on here every week. There's a new thing. Because I always want to have different guests on. So I'll leave it up to you guys. I'm going to have, everybody's going to get a chance. But I'll put a poll in. 4 or 5 YouTubers each week. I'll let you guys vote on it. So obviously I got to see if they could fit in their schedules. But I'll put a poll up and let you guys vote on who's going to be on next week.
Hey, my vote right now is already for Kid Blue. I love he's a good YouTuber.
I love Kid Blue. Kid Ben. But yeah, any more questions, guys? 5 more minutes, and then I'll show that spider video, and then we'll call it a night. And again, I want to thank you for coming on. I had a great time talking to you. I hope we get to work together in the future. Maybe I go on your channel in the future. You come back on mine, whatever.
I mean, no, thank you. And again, anybody who is not subbed to Entertainah, please do it. The dude has a fantastic channel. Good Mets content, good Giants content. By all means, please sub Entertainah.
Appreciate that, my man. And same goes for you, man. Love your channel. Link in the description below. Did you hear about the Giants wanting the first overall pick?
Yes, I did hear that rumor.
Yeah, I don't think it's going to happen, though. I don't think they're going to give up as much as it would take. Thumbs up the stream and subscribe to the Entertainah. Yeah, I appreciate that, Afghanistan. We need to show the Metsies some love. Pitchers and catchers right around the corner. Meet the Mets. You got that right. The Mets content's going to pick up after the Super Bowl. I'm waiting until after the Super... Probably like a week or 2 after the Super Bowl. That's when I'm still going to maintain the Giants content because I know I have a lot of Giants subscribers. You got the draft coming up. You got free agency coming up. But I'm going to start breaking in the baseball content, the Knicks content with the draft and everything else. But I'll start becoming a 3-sport channel in about a week or 2.
I think Afghanistan should change his name. hype man.
I love it. Afghanistan's awesome. Awesome.
Where the Madden at?
Can we get Mark back? Mark's going to be on the channel. I told you that, Cushman. I got his number. He will be back on the channel. I don't know when, but he will. Good night, bro. Keep up the hard work. I appreciate that, Cooper. Thank you so much. Jeffrey, you got it, my man. And once again, please sub this man up. One giant rebuttal. Link in the description. I can't remember a Mets team this deep. I just wish we didn't give up a bunch of real good prospects. GC says, they're extremely deep. I don't know how familiar you are with the roster, but they have a lot of moving parts. You got Frazier who could play both first and third, and I'm not a big fan of Frazier. They got Alonso. I don't know how close you follow the Mets, but Alonso's one of the better prospects in all of baseball. First baseman who may or may not crack the opening day roster. They signed Jed Lowry, who had a really good year last year for the A's. He's 34.
Yeah, no, I wish the Red Sox would have kept Jed. If he wasn't so injury prone early in his career, it seems like he's staying healthier now. I love Jed Lowry.
Yeah,
solid.
And he could do a little bit of everything. He could do a little bit of everything. He could play second, third. Of course, Cano. Rosario, I think, takes a step forward this year. And then in the outfield, they've got nice moving parts. Of course, Cespedes is out, but you've got Conforto, you've got Nimmo, you've got Lagares, you got McNeil, who had a really nice year for the Mets the second half last year. And, they signed, I can't remember his name, but that center field prospect. But they have a couple of, they got a nice team.
Thanks, by the way, Enzo. But the other thing is, what is actually going on with Cespedes? Can't even say his name right
Cespedes. Basically, from what I gather from what the Mets are saying, anything we get from him this year, it's gravy. Don't expect him to play. It sounds like there's a chance he'll play, but don't expect much out of him. I'm not expecting much out of him this year. If we get him back, great. It's just Broxton. Yeah, there you go. Meet the Mets. Broxton. That's the center fielder. Chris, you're gonna make? Yes, I'm working on it. With my work schedule, definitely by the end of the week, the mock draft will be complete. That video is obviously going to take a while. It's probably going to be like a half-hour video, but I'll have it up by the end of the week.
QC, no.
We are going to be bad versus left-handed pitching because we are so left-handed dominant in our lineup. And the other thing I worry about, GC, we don't have many left-handed arms in the bullpen. Obviously, we just acquired one, but I think we need one more lefty in that bullpen. That Spider's a jerk. Detonator, I love you. I love all you guys. Everybody who tunes in my channel. All right, real quick. For anybody that hasn't seen it, it was requested earlier. I'm going to show the Spider video. So One Giant Rebuttal is going to pop out for a second because I got to go to it. And then we'll bring him back on and say goodbye. It's going to take a couple of minutes, guys, so just give me a second. I know it's timestamped, so it shouldn't be too hard to find. You know what? I'll do it another time. My internet's acting slow. I don't want to drag this out. I'll do it another time. It's going too slow. It'll take too long. Yeah, I'll do it another time. But maybe next show I'll show it right away. He's a rapper from Connecticut. How many?
He was talking about. He asked me if I knew this dude Chris Webby. He's a rapper from Connecticut. Apparently, he's pretty good. I mean, I'll check him out. I thought he was talking about Chris Webber when he asked that earlier. Same here.
Yeah. I found it. Thanks. Trying to make a video for you. Oh, Joe Musa, that would be fantastic. I have no idea how to do that. Somebody told me I was trying to do that because I think it would get a lot of views. I think a lot of people would like it. I was trying to get the best of the funny moments from my live streams.
Oh yeah, that would be perfect.
Yeah, and
I'd watch that for sure.
Yeah, somebody told me to put it up on the OBS and then you could record it one bit at a time. But I tried to do it and I can't figure out how to record an OBS.
Oh well. For OBS, if you want to go to, you have to go to browser. You put it into the panel. Okay, you put your browser, and then it will open up the panel. Then you type in whatever video on YouTube you want. You go to YouTube, and then once you have that clicked, you have to actually right-click it to interact with the browser itself. So then you can record from YouTube itself.
Well, I see the start recording button, and I click it. And I do exactly what you said. I put the browser in, it pops up on the screen, but then the recording doesn't save on my computer.
You have to. It probably is. Well, actually, what I do in my OBS, I forget to do this sometimes. It does save on your computer. What you have to do is before you start recording on whatever you're going to record on OBS, you have to go File, Show Recordings.
Oh, maybe that's what it is. All right, but yeah, if Joe Musa, if you could do that for me, man, that would be amazing. Oh, hell yeah, man. Cranking the views. Christopher, I love Christopher Columbus. What's up, buddy? Chris in shorts has more hair on his chest than his legs. I'm surprised. Whatever happened to the Entertainah's chest hair? I had a troll that was the Entertainah's chest hair. Yeah, Joe Moose. I was thinking like a 5, 6, 7 minute video, 4, whatever, of like the 7 or 8 funniest clips. Just mash them together. Lucas Milk, what's up? But yeah, thank you guys so much. It's 10:02. Head on over to Bad Dog's channel. I think he's streaming tonight. Somebody said that. He streams every night, so I know he is. The spider got me. But I just want to say thank you so much for coming on the channel. I had a blast talking to you. It was great getting to know you. I'm going to, at some point, for sure, have you back on the channel. We'll continue to work together. Keep up the great work. Now, are you going to only do Giants content? Obviously, with your name, I assume you are. But are you going to do some other stuff?
I mean, I have to think about it when baseball season arrives. But right now, I'm going to stick with, the Giants rumor mill, Giants content. I might spread into, just general football knowledge stuff. Because right now, if you're a YouTuber and you're a sports channel especially, it's the best time to cover football. This is when you can grow your channel. Now, when baseball starts rolling, maybe with the NBA playoffs, for me, I don't really start watching it's not worth watching the NBA until about April.
Right.
To be honest with you.
Right. Well, the playoffs. Or right approaching the playoffs.
Exactly. When seeding's getting ironed out and whatnot. I mean, I'm a Celtics fan, but I've probably watched maybe 10 games this year.
Yeah. Yeah.
Tuning in out. But thank you for having me on the channel. I mean, you've been absolutely great. Great host. I mean, getting in contact with you wasn't even that hard. I appreciate it. Thank you.
Of course, man. Thank you for coming on the channel. And thank you guys. Thank you to everybody who tuned in. You guys are the best. I always say that. But yeah, I'm calling it a night, Kendrick. Thank you so much for being a part of the channel. Let Kendrick call in. Kendrick could call in. Kendrick could call in Saturday. I'm going to have a call-in show Saturday night. It's going to be quicker, so I might not be able to get to everybody. Because, as I always say, I live in an apartment building. I can't be screaming. But I will be on live about 9:45 for a call-in show from about 9:45 to 11:15 for about an hour and a half. Mondays, I'm going to have my normal 2.5 hour show. But Saturday, I'm going to have that. Sunday, of course, I'm going to be on Bad Dog's channel. I'm sure I'm going to be live one other time before that. So be sure to look out for that. I'm going to hopefully have my offensive line video out tomorrow. And then I'm going to get working on that mock draft as well as the draft preview video for the linebacker there. White. Devin White. So that's what I'm working on this week. Did I get a blackout last night? I did not, Pavith. But thank you guys so much for tuning in. And have a good night, guys.
Thank you.